I've worked on SD and ISOL modules for the last 6 years. So I pretty much have,
I'm getting a lot of noise. I think the speaker is very close to. Yeah, now I think
even
it's fine.
even I
I
am
think it's
getting
fine
the
now.
feedback. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Good. To quickly give an introduction about myself. I do have quite a bit of experience on SAP, and I've been working on the SD and ISOL modules for the last
What
6 years.
modules can I?
SAP is about 6 years, and in total, I've also worked on the oil and gas domain industry. So that's put together, it's about 16 years now.
Oh, fantastic.
So the reason why I'm looking for EHS is I'm right now I moved on from ISOL to EHS, and I'm actually working on certain certain other third-party vendor applications, which is more into the EHS domain. So we use this Essential Suite and Ops-Info and those kind of applications for our clients. Solutions. So one another area which I wanted to focus is SAP, because since I'm already quite comfortable on SAP, so I wanted to get this gone through once. That's the reason I wanted to go through this course.
Okay. Mr. Ganesh, there has been in discontinuity of this SAP thing, you have been in SD initially, then you have moved on to industrial solution, and then you have moved on to some other third-party application, right? That's how it is, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Now you're looking at SAP EHS as an opportunity to get back into SAP, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much right.
Fine. You're having what modules you are actually going to have in SAP EHS, or it's like completely new to you?
It's not new to me, but just that I would of course my organization, they are actually focusing on EC module and SAPM stuff, but then I think they are also expecting a few projects on PRSS and stuff like that. So I have quite a bit of an idea about what are the different modules, and I have an idea about what.
So, see, what I will do is, then I will, please continue.
Yeah. So whatever I can cover through this course, that's good for me. I am okay with that.
Okay. See, this presentation, it's like a generic one. When we are actually training students or professionals, we get from varied backgrounds. Somebody with already SAP experience in some other module, and some who are actually having experience in SAP EHS, but restricted to only one or two sub-modules, okay? Then you have completely new guys, they're just passed out of their college, or they're having 2 years core or domain experience. That's how it is. So what I'm doing is, I'm directly taking you to because you're already having SAP experience, I'm directly getting you to the actual discussion, basically, okay? See, there are certain things that you should be aware of when you consciously take a decision to be into SAP EHS, okay? SAP EHS is a separate license. Though you're finding it in ECC once the client purchases it from SAP, it's a separate license altogether, okay? And as far as certification is concerned, there is no certification being offered by SAP so far, right? Previously it has been Siemens Education, which is now taken over by ATOS, okay? There is no certification anywhere. That actually applies to EHSM also, EHS and EHSM as well, okay? No certification.
Okay.
They are offering only training that is very expensive. The training that they are offering is very expensive because it's a completely customized thing, right? And I'm not very sure whether they're actually continuing with them or not as such. And then as far as the content, or as far as the textbook, or as far as the material is concerned, there is no book on SAP EHS available in English, basically. This is one thing which we need to know, right? Long ago, there was one German book. Long ago, I heard that, a German book is getting translated into English, but as I know, that has not seen the day's life. Okay.
Okay.
Next, if it is the functional part training in SAP EHS, it's not necessary that you need to have an experience in the core EHS. Okay. Because as you know, because you're already experienced in SD, if you're having the domain experience in sales and distribution also, you can see that SAP actually deals with it completely separately, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So even if you are well aware, see, as an example, I can say that I have a 63-year-old gentleman from USA as one of my students. He is having 30 plus years of experience in core EHS. He's a chemical engineer in US itself. So given the logical mindset, given the patterns that he already has, so it's difficult for him to get used to SAP EHS. So initially we have to repeat the things again and again. Okay, that's the reason why I'm saying if you are having core EHS experience, it's fine. Okay, if you are not having it also, then it's not a problem at all. Like sometimes it is better not having, because you are like a white paper and directly whatever SAP EHS is actually dealing as far as patterns, as far as classifications, as far as categorization is concerned, you can proceed from there itself. Okay. And if you're having some some fixed patterns or mindsets, you need to unlearn them, and then you need to relearn the way SAP is actually wanting us to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So here, this is something, because you're already there in SAP, I don't think this you will be needing it. Directly we'll go into SAP EHS and what are the modules that we have. Okay. All put together, SAP EHS got 7 sub-modules, one of which the first one is basic data and tools, which is a central component. Without basic data and tools, you cannot actually work on product safety or HSM or DCM or waste management. Okay. What you deal in basic data and tools is something called specification management and phrase management. Like what is customer master to SD? What is material master to materials management? Like that, you have specification master for SAP EHS. Okay. See, you have worked in oil and gas sector, right? You will be having that list, like what a layman or what general public calls as petrol is actually motor spirit for oil and gas sector, right? What we call as diesel is basically high-speed diesel. Okay, because I also have worked on SAP implementation for IOCL through an Israeli-based company. Okay.
Okay.
So that's how it is. So the basic question comes like, when you already have a material master, what is the point of having a specification master, right? So for that, the answer is material master deals only with the only at the superficial level from SAP EHS point of view. Let us say SAP EHS is being purchased or is being taken up by chemical companies, oil and gas sector, right? Mostly chemical companies, oil and gas sector, pharmaceutical companies, etc. Okay. If you are simply saying that it is just high-speed diesel, or if it is whatever views, basic data 1, basic view 1, basic data 2, okay, all these things, right? These are not actually satisfying the requirement, business requirement, in terms of what kinds of ingredients it has, basically, which can be hazardous to environment, hazardous to health, hazardous to or it can cause some physical harm, kind of thing. Okay, that's the reason why we are having specification management. So to summarize it, materials master deals only at the superficial level. Specification master gets to the depth to whatever extent the client wants it to be. Okay.
Got a point. Yeah.
Right. This is the basic difference between why you are getting into specifications master, leaving aside materials master. Then once you have material master, once you have specification master, there has to be some connection in between. There has to be some integration in between, right? Next, if you are taking the example of chemical industry, or if you are taking the example of oil and gas sector, there are certain products that companies keep investing in terms of R&D, so that they can come up with new products. That is basically product development, right? Sometimes on one particular product, they might be working for nearly 15 years, 10 to 15 years, right? Sometimes 20 years also, and then they might have to scrap. They might have to scrap it, right? So when you are talking about product life cycle, you need to maintain all this data somewhere. You cannot maintain this data in the material master. So that's one more reason why you are having specification master.
Okay.
Right? Then there is a case, there is a specialty case where you are having a material or you are having a substance in your specification master without any relationship in the material master also. See, generally, if you are going for certification examinations, this is how they trick you. give the wrong answer, right? Like, what is the relationship between, this thing for a material in material master and for a substantive specification master? It is 1:many or many is to 1 or none is to 1. So these things. So why I'm telling all these things is there are certain companies, like, I have worked for US-based companies. In spite of having experience, they asked me to go through a written test also. Okay, there I have seen this question because I'm aware of all these things. So within no time I could answer this, and as a part of this course, you'll be exposed to those details also. Okay, frequently asked questions. Sometimes if you're having a good amount of experience, then we have to cover the rarely asked questions also. Like, some of the questions might be, if you are the solution architect for SAP HS, what changes you are going to bring in? So unless until you have complete grip on that, you cannot actually impress on the other person, right? So this is what you deal in basic data and tools. Apart from this, you have phrase management. Phrase management is something which takes care of things like, safety data sheet, that is material safety data sheet, or labeling, or hazard communication, so on and so forth. And then the basic problem here is, given today's globalization days, you might be producing the substance here in Hyderabad, but you might have to move it to US, or sometimes you have to move it to China, right? In China, they don't understand English. It has to be, material safety data sheet has to be in Chinese. Same is the case in French. Though they can understand English, they prefer it in French, so on and so forth, right? Because of this application that you are finding in BDT by name phrase management, you can automatically convert to whatever language you want.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so if you are looking at something like SDS, like, as per GHS, Global Harmonized System, it need to have 16 sessions compulsory. Even if you are not having any content in one of the sections, definitely you need to keep that open, right, and then leave it blank. So that being the case, when you are using this application and then you are using report shipping, based on which the target country or the target region or the target validity area, okay, these are the things that we are actually going to use, the language automatically gets converted. But you have some fixed languages here, and then there is one more application based on which if you want to go for any other local language, like, Hindi is not there in SAP, right? Telugu is not there in SAP, Kannada is not there in SAP. That also you can go for in case if you're if the client is insisting, but that is a separate application. Okay. Then you have product safety. You cover all these things as a mix in basic data and tools and product safety. Apart from that, in product safety, one key, the most important thing is WWI, Windows Word integration. Okay, there is some more coding here, but the moment I am saying coding, some of the students are getting scared. It is not coding like, a proper Java thing or proper C++ thing. Okay, it is as simple as if-then statements. Okay, and it is coding, and it is part of functional. It is not part of technical, guys. It is part of functional, guys. Okay. This is very, very important. WWI, Windows Word Processor Integration. Apart
this is what is used for the labeling and stuff like that, right?
Tracking. Pardon me, Mr. Ganesh, you're saying something?
Yeah. So this is what is used for the labeling and all those kind of norm standards, right?
Yes. Apart from this, I have just mentioned 3 or 4. Apart from this, for some of the sub-modules, you have to go for standard operating procedures also, which you might be finding in oil and gas sector in a very big way. For all these things, you have to use WWI integration, Windows Word Processor integration.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Right. Then you have some other thing called substance volume tracking. Okay, these days, regulations have become so strict. Like, for example, in UK or Europe in general, there is something called REACH compliance. Okay, there is some regulation called REACH. Okay, it is considered one of the toughest so far of all the laws that we are having. Okay, so what is happening is, they have given a deadline like 2009, something like that, and then final deadline falls somewhere around next year, 2015 or something like that. Okay. So for that, the basic thing it says is, say for example, if you are handling any hazardous substance, okay, let us say lead for battery industry. Batteries have to use lead, okay, but lead is restricted. Certain amount only you can use per annum in your production facility.
Okay.
Okay. So if that is crossing that limit, then you are violating the REACH compliance directly. So you can make settings in the system in such a way that, you know, the system would generate an error, the system would generate a mail, or system would block the business transaction altogether. System would give a warning. These settings you make in substance volume tracking in product safety. Okay. Next, the basic difference between product safety submodule and hazardous substance module here is that if you are the manufacturer of a product, if you are the manufacturer of a substance, then you have to go with product safety. But if you are only a trader, you are not a manufacturer. Okay, you are only a trader. You are only middleman between the end user and the product manufacturer. Then hazardous substance module is the thing for the client.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have dangerous goods management. Dangerous goods, like, you know, when you are going for the UN classification. So UN has come up with a classification. What is happening generally is, very soon we might be having the same labels all over the country, all over the world, basically. Now, the labels, the symbols, the pictograms, everything is different based on the country, region and all, right? But because of globalization, the products are moving left and right, here and there, not even having control from where it is going to where. So what is happening is, they are going for uniformity of all the things.
Okay.
In the process, what they have done is, they have listed the dangerous goods, only exclusively for dangerous goods, like, you know, for report generation, for keeping the product, the whole data as far as the product cycle of that particular thing is concerned, you are going to use dangerous goods management module. Okay. Then you have waste management. Waste management, basically, I can put it into very simply this way, like, you know, somebody is generating the waste, somebody has to handle the waste, somebody has to dispose the waste.
Yeah.
So for these things, you need to have a centralized module for this thing. Sometimes the waste is sellable. It's not that, you know, you are simply disposing it off. You are actually selling that waste to some other third party. Right? So all these functionalities are covered in waste management. Okay, then you have occupational health and industrial hygiene and safety. Okay. In occupational health, basically you deal with something called medical services, health surveillance protocols, okay, physicians, then examinations, tests. These are basically to keep the health of the employee intact, following some standard procedures. As a part of it, you have to deal with the HR master also, that is HCM also you need to touch. Unless until you have the integration with that, you won't be having full-fledged functionality utility in OH.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have IHS. See, basically when you are looking at hazard control measures, you have to deal with so many things. Like, you know, the moment you identify a hazard, it has to be ensured that, you know, exposure is not coming close to it. Hazard would be there always, but only when exposure comes in contact with that, then only you can see the possibility of somebody getting harmed, okay, or somebody falling into danger zone, right? So you need to ensure that you are actually having complete control of the control measures also. That is, you know, you have something called, elimination process, substitution, okay, method of engineering control, method of procedural control, then finally personal protective equipment. Okay, all these things are basically handled in IHS.
Okay.
So this is in broad. You know, apart from this, there are so many things. As and when we proceed, we'll actually handle all these things. So this is in complete about SAP EHS basically. So now you need to ask questions. Based on your questions, I'll be able to give more information to you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me begin on certain things that I know of. You know, like, yeah, of course, we have been working on those third-party applications that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah, if your client is basically US, you might be having some other software like, you know, 3E or MSDS Online or Ariel software. So these are the things that actually Americans are using apart from SAP EHS. But they are like standalone systems kind of thing. Like, you know, you have something called it would be as simple as an Excel sheet, a complicated Excel sheet. That's how it would be.
Okay. No, in fact, I have never worked on this particular area of EHS. Meaning when you talk about this product stewardship, I have never worked on any of those areas. So the kind of experience that I have is on EHS is more towards the sustainability reporting stuff. So when I'm talking about reporting, it's all those the GRI, the GHG, emissions, and so on. So we deal only with the many kind of air, water, waste management, and then compliance and audit and stuff like that. So of course, meaning on SAP, all these things get now translated into the modules like EC, SUPM, and so on. So of course, yeah, like those are the other things that I was also looking for. So, but then I would also be interested in PRSS. So that is also in one of my in a list of mine. So this is something new that I would be going through. So I'm okay with what I with the introduction what you gave. So the other thing that I also wanted to know is like how will you be able to help me in terms of an EC module or something? Is that possible, or is it something totally different and you cannot touch upon them, EC or SCPM or something like that?
No, I didn't understand the question. You are asking like help you on ECC.
EC, emission compliance. So
no, we are not touching emission compliance. No. Emission compliance is completely different. Recipe management is completely different from SAP EHSM.
Okay.
Yeah.
In fact, that's what I was trying to understand. That like if you would be able to cover that as well along with this, or is it something totally different that you may not be?
No, that is totally different. See, that EC and actually RM, that is recipe management, are not part of this. These are completely different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I've got an idea. Of what you're talking about. Okay. Yeah. I think I'm good with with your explanation on what is going to be covered on the scope. So yeah, I'm good with that. I don't have any questions specifically.
Right. Even in case if you have any questions, like before we start the session, you can mail them to Venki. In turn, he would communicate those things to me, and then I will be in a position to clarify all your doubts. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
If you have any questions, you can mail me. I will ask the trainers and I will let you know. Okay. So that
sure, Venkatesh. Sure, I'll do that.
I will inform you by mail. Thanks for attending my class. Thanks, Prasad.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, fine.
Thanks, Prasad.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Thanks, Prasad. Thank you very much. Yeah. Bye-bye.